Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the December 21st, 2021 meeting of Henderson County Fiscal Court. We're glad you're with us, and if you're watching on Facebook, we're glad you're with us as well. We'll begin, as we always do, with an invocation, and Reverend Charles Johnson, head of the Human Rights Commission, is going to lead us in prayer. Reverend?
Judge Magistrates, we want to say on behalf of the Henderson Human Rights and my family, have a wonderful, wonderful holiday season and Happy New Year. And we're envious of Brother Keith Berry coming back with that tan that he has and stuff. So let us pray. Father, we thank you for this day as we pause and as we reflect and we celebrate and we look forward to spending time with family and friends. Let us continue to keep our neighbors down the road in our thoughts and our prayers and all that they're still going through. We thank you for all the opportunities to assist and to help them. Bless our nation, bless our tri-state, our city, our leaders, and all that we're doing to make and improve the lives of our citizens here locally. Bless us this holiday season. Bless us and help us to be good stewards of our decisions, our time, and our efforts, and we ask it in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Reverend. Mr. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Manager Southern.
Here.
Manager Putman.
Here.
Manager McCollum.
Here.
Manager Berry.
Here.
Manager Moran is absent.
Gentlemen, you have before you the minutes of the December 7th fiscal court meeting. After a period of review, I'll entertain a motion to approve those.
Make a motion to approve. Second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions, discussions, clarifications, corrections? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? As it lists on the agenda, we have an opening coming up on the Riverport Authority Board, currently occupied by Mr. LaFoon Chip Williams, and Greg Pritchett has recommended that Mr. Williams be reappointed to another term, and Greg has indicated that he is a solid member of that board, and I would like to reappoint Mr. Williams with approval of fiscal board, please.
So move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next, you have in your packets the recertification of another conservation district. This is a process that must be done every year, and we don't necessarily approve the district itself, just the process of recertification. You see in your packet the description of what is going to be happening with that particular set of parcels. I would ask for questions, but I really don't have much more than this. This is in my own mind. We do this every year at the request of the Conservation District. And anything you'd like to bring up? Every 5 years, I'm sorry, every 5 years. To make sure they can take full benefit of all the Conservation District offerings and services.
It's strictly a formality.
Yeah. So we'll need a motion to approve the process.
I move to approve.
A motion and a second. Any other comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Along those same lines, we have an annual MOA with various state and federal agencies, renewing our relationship with them and our emergency management folks. Again, this is a recurring vote we must take. There is a resolution in the packet. Any questions before I have the clerk read the resolution? Is there any objection to having the clerk just read the summary?
Would work for me.
Yes.
That's fine.
Okay. Go ahead, Kurt.
Resolution authorizing County Judge Executive to execute memorandum of agreement with Kentucky Department of Military Affairs, Division of Emergency Management regarding Federal Emergency Management Performance Grant eligibility.
Motion to approve that.
So move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. 'Aye. 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 '
Mr. Hubiak, we have a couple things to take care of. First, a bid request for uniforms for your department, yes?
Yes, sir, Judge. We supply uniforms to our employees on an annual basis. We have been using a company for several years now, and the price and the prices are going up, and the quality and the services are going down. So DOTC put together a package to go out and bid uniform services this year for us to review and make a recommendation to fiscal court. So that's what I'm asking for, is to be able to go out for bid.
Any other questions? Make a motion to give Bill
So
a chance to go?
moved.
Yeah. We have a
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions of Bill? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you for being diligent that way.
All right.
Now we have some bid openings. First for a roll-off truck. And these are budgeted purchases, right, Bill?
Yes. This would be a roll-off truck. We currently have a 2006 model Mack, which is a standard shift. And we are bidding out a automatic. We will be applying for solid waste reimbursement for the roll-off portion of this truck. So, anyway, we have bid package here by Volmac of Evansville.
Bill, is that one of those deals you've got to spend the money before you apply for it? Is that?
Yes.
This set is correct. It's a reimbursement
Yeah.
type deal. Anyway, the problem is, Charlie, with how far out we are on delivery dates. Right now, we decided to move this up to get it in the works based upon what we had on our bid for the dump truck. So, trying to get ahead of the game on the budgeting processes too. So, all right, let's see if I'm reading this right. Total price, $183,607. Is that correct, man? Okay. Let's just double check. Do what? The Mack Granite is what we bid, is what we currently have, and municipal equipment out of Louisville, Kentucky, bid the roll-off system that goes on the unit. That's who we purchased the previous model from, that we've had excellent service out of. It's just getting up in age. So I would like to take this under advisement as always and get back to fiscal court, making sure that it meets all the bid specs, and with my recommendation here in January. Because I need to look at the when it will be delivered. That was one of the things in here. And this is for a model year 2023. So,
And we only got one bid.
do what?
We only got one
We
bid.
got one bid.
Hey, Bill, is
Do
there,
what?
is there any way we could take the roll-off section of what we have off and put on this truck?
No,
Won't fit.
no, because of the systems or the way it is. Now, what we can do is, and I've already put this out, is we will sell our old unit, and we have already got a residual value of that unit of about 35 to 40,000 because we have kept it in good shape. So that would come back in to the county coffers once it would be sold.
Kind of deferring the cost of
Yeah.
the
Right.
roll-off anyway.
So
And we plan on keeping it in good shape till we get the new one, so.
and the automatic is I-shift?
Yeah, this is an automatic. This,
It's
the
not.
old one is not an automatic, it's a standard shift.
Right, what,
It's an Allison 4500 RDS 6 speed.
okay.
There you go.
Any other
Okay,
que-
so you're going to review and bring?
I'm going to review it and bring it back to fiscal court first week in January.
Second week.
Second week in January.
Yeah. We also have a bid opening for your parking building at the road department.
This will be for the parking bays for our dump trucks, keep them in out of the weather. We currently have outgrown it. It only can house 3 units that we have currently out of all the units we have. And will help extend the life of our equipment. We got 2 bids. First one is from Clearspan Structures out of Iowa. They have a bid price of $135,348.22. They did not give copies for everybody. And the second bid is from Mustang Contracting out of Lewisport, Kentucky. $100,267.00.
Are those installed?
Do I, this, no, this is just for the material. This is just the material
And your
because,
plan is to install it yourself?
right, the installation will be done either partially by us and partially by contractors. Just because of the fact, Charlie, we didn't know, on time frame of when the stuff will get here. We did not want to tear our old structure down until the material's on hand. And then at that time, we can entertain bids to hang the red iron for us and we can put the skin up on it. So,
Is this going to be where the bays where they were?
right, the ones that are currently there,
And they
the
were-
back side is where we keep the pipes stacked and racked.
Right,
The
right.
front side, the stalls are too narrow and too low for the size dump trucks we now currently have. We can't get them under there.
Okay.
So,
What
but we
si-
did not want to tear that down until we,
Yeah.
till we get the new one here.
What size building are we bidding? The dimensions?
120 by 30 bays? No, 210, excuse me. 7 30-foot bays,
Okay.
210 by 30.
Can anything out of the olds be used, Bill?
Do what?
Can any of the stuff any of the material out of the old building be used for?
The whole building, we'll be able to park 2 trucks side by side in each bay. We'll do it like we have it now. There'll be electrical systems to plug in our engine block heaters in each bay. They'll all be open. They're just 3-sided structures,
My
no
question-
insulation.
My question was, are you going to salvage some of the old?
Oh, yeah, well,
You all
there's
do
no
it.
way,
I mean, no.
the skin is too short. We'll
Okay.
recycle it.
For-
It was made out of power poles.
Yeah.
So it's exceeded its life expectancy, so. Any other questions?
You going to review those and bring them back for
Yes, sir.
recommendation? Okay. Any other questions of Bill? Thank you.
Thank you.
You have in your packet animal control reports. I don't think anybody from Animal Control is, or the Humane Society is with us today. But review those.
Make a motion to accept those.
We don't
Don't have
vote
to
on
accept-
those. Yeah.
Okay.
But they're there, and looks to me like financially they're hanging in there okay. So. We don't have any detention center reports in your packet. I don't think I see anybody from the jail here to add anything to that. Do you have the sheriff's monthly report? Mr. Willett, anything to add to the normal monthly sheriff's report?
No, sir.
Okay. We'll need a motion to approve the sheriff's report.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Oh, yeah. Mr. Willett, would you introduce your guest, please? Come on up front.
This is Tony Hudspeth. She is
You need not to come up to the mic. Yeah, sorry about that.
So this is a new deputy that was just hired with us, Tony Hudspeth. She's going to be going to the academy in February. So, and then she'll be out away in the academy for 5 months, I believe, and then she'll be back to us in another 3 months on the road with FTO. So we're happy to have her. I'm pretty excited about her getting out there so far. She seems to be pretty good.
Good. Excellent.
Welcome aboard.
Yes. Thank you. Good luck at the academy. We are working to try to get an academy established in this end of the state, so it'll make all that easier, but stay tuned on that. So. Okay, you have in your packet the county clerk's report. Bernice is not able to be with us.
Make a motion to accept.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Gold, your report.
Judge, I've only got 2 checks today. First is flow through from the city, $458.33, and jail fees collected, $142.50, for today's total of $600.83, and fiscal year to date, $104,260.22.
A
Move
motion
to
to-
accept.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions of Mr. Gold? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Treasurer Ryder, your reports.
The transfers are as presented, which are redistributing appropriations within the existing budget. You will notice that being transferred from contingent appropriations to renewals and repairs courthouse is $119,500. That's for the expenses incurred for the courthouse front steps renovation. Also, from contingent appropriations to the Board of Housing Appeals, transferring $2,000, and that is to account for the expenses of the newly elected formed Codes Enforcement Board. I do have one cash transfer from the general fund to the road fund in the amount of $900,000, and this is a budgeted transfer.
Make a motion to approve the transfer.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, and I will compliment Hazex on the speed and skill in replacing these steps. Not an easy project, and Mr. Hubiak's been keeping close watch on that. I think all is good so far, and they just have a couple steps left, I think, to finish the job. And I was honestly, I didn't think they'd get done before the end of the year, and they've done a great job. Looks like.
Steve's concerned about the building falling down.
It sure felt like it a few times right there on the other side of that wall. But I did go out the other day when it rained, and I noticed there was no pooling of water on there, which
We were trying to build you an emergency escape tunnel.
you know what, that would help sometimes.
So that's been a good project, and I've gotten a lot of compliments from people just on the way it looks aesthetically, and it's safer. So glad to do it. So we have a motion and a second on the transfers. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next.
You have your bank balances after paying claims today. The day-to-day appropriation lines should be at approximately 50%. I do have additional claims. From the general fund to the air board in the amount of $980.25. This is a flow-through of coal severance funds reimbursed from DLG for the airport project for the period of July through December of 2021. and is to come from the Air Board Maintenance Appropriation line. To Hayes-X in the amount of $77,567.40. This is for the second draw of the courthouse steps renovation. You will notice that in your existing packet of claims, the first draw of $15,000 is in there also. To Moyd Construction Supply for 2 invoices in the amount of $2,590. This is for the courthouse front steps renovation, and also you will notice in your prepared claims that there is already a $3,000 claim for that. To Staples in the amount of $515.29. This is for clerk office supplies and is to come from that appropriation line. To Angela Comer in the amount of $4,372.96. This is for the fiscal year 22 training incentive and is to come from the judges training incentive appropriation line. From the road fund to Visa in the amount of $931.13. This is for miscellaneous supplies for the road department, the majority of it coming from the maintenance and repairs equipment line. From the jail fund to HMC Service Company in the amount of $5,933.19. This represents 4 significantly past due invoices that were held in dispute, but we've been provided a revised invoice with the date of December 16, 2021 to be issued for this payment. Also, there were 2 other invoices from this same vendor that totaled $324.67, which we paid December 14, 2021 because they were under the $500 threshold.
But they will be packaged together with the new invoice to reflect it.
All these will
Yeah.
be filed together, yes, sir.
Make a motion to approve the claims.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions of Brenda? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And I will note that, as Brenda said, we're about 50% of appropriations coming up on end of 6 months, and all departments are really below that threshold in spending, so everybody's holding the line, keeping a close eye on it. It's good so far. Any other comments from the Finance Committee? We met yesterday, talked about these things. We're in good financial shape right now. Really good.
I think you just summed it up pretty well, Judge.
Deal.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. Appreciate it. I don't have any old business. We're also acknowledging the receipt of the Planning Commission rezoning case number 1125. If there's any questions about that, we will move on to good of the county.
I've reviewed it, and I think we ought to just go ahead and let it go into effect by operational law.
So duly noted.
I do have one other thing. I did get the plans for this building, and they are so poor, I couldn't read the numbers. And I started figuring them and calculating them based on I'd calculate, I could find one number and I'd use that number to do what it was for the whole thing. And Steve Gold's numbers were higher than this whole upstairs, so I knew something was not right.
We don't take up that much.
No, nothing. So I understand. So I'm going to have to go and measure the outside of the building. If I can get something to go from, then I can calculate.
I believe as part of what we had to do for our federal reimbursement for that child support grant. I believe Mr. Evans in my office did that.
Okay.
So we may have those numbers.
If you could
you're
send that
interested
to
in
me,
Yes.
it would be very helpful. But what we had, the numbers just didn't jive, and I'm going, oh, this can't be right.
No, those
Yeah.
old plans aren't great.
No.
I'd also like to volunteer that James Bosler, our head of
Right.
maintenance here, he can help measure anything you'd
Okay.
like to.
Okay.
I'll cut him loose to do that for you.
Sure.
if you want to.
Well, if it's been done, I don't like to repeat stuff
Yeah.
that's been done once. If Kyle's done it, I will take those and run with it.
Okay, anybody from the audience have anything for good of the county? Yes, sir, Bill.
Judge, I'd like to thank you and the members of Fiscal Court for allowing the Henderson County Road Department to go down and help out during this time. We have 2 great alls and our whole truck fleet down there, and flaggers working in Bremen. We've been working at one road and one intersection for 2 weeks. We finally got the one road cleared of the vegetative debris. We're still on the other highway. We just removed the bottlenecks and had to get off of there just because of so much traffic. We've had some personal damage to a lake house when I drove through Princeton the other day. I have never seen so much devastation in my entire life throughout our state. The ice storm is nothing compared to this. I mean, that was all vegetative debris. This is houses and personal property that was just leveled down. But we've worked down there. People are very appreciative of it. I don't know how much longer we're pulling back out of there today because we have our Christmas luncheon tomorrow and the holidays coming up, and I will be in touch with them and Kenny to see if we have any other responsibilities we might be able to help them with your approval. So just wanted to let you know that, and people down there really, really appreciate it.
Steve, is there not something that the court needs to do to be using our equipment and our manpower out on other private property or on this?
Well, if it's as part of mutual aid through our emergency management plan, and that's something Kenny may be able to talk to. I think we have some of those things already in writing through EMA. Is that correct?
We are not permitted to go on private property. Everything has to be brought to the roadside where we can reach it according to the FEMA guidelines, and that has always been in place, Charlie. But
I think it's the right thing to do to help each other, but I don't think that the fiscal court itself had been talked to. I haven't. And I just felt like that if we're using our equipment and our stuff somewhere, that we ought to be advised about it.
Yeah.
I think Kenny may be able to speak to some of that from the EMA
many
plan.
of the volunteers that have came down there have been assisting on the private property. They can go on private property. They have brought in skid steers, chainsaws, mini excavators. There are people from everywhere that were down there just in the location that we're working at. And, you know, when they come there, apparently they were sent out to us for guidance to do stuff. So we put some of them, you know, cutting with the saws in front of our grate all into 8 and 10 foot pieces to be able to easier handle the stuff, to expedite loading of the trucks. We had people, you know, going up to the houses and asking what they can do, what remained of the structures to help bring it to the roadside and things of this nature. FEMA has been on site now, and they're putting together their local plans to try to deal with it. It's overwhelming to these people that have never dealt with anything quite like this, and it's not just in one area. I have a friend of mine who's a magistrate in Hopkins County, and he's been working down in Dawson Springs, and they just don't know what actually to do with. There's so much demolition debris that, you know, you can burn the vegetative stuff, but the demolition debris cannot be burnt because you have PVC piping in there, you have, you know, electrical wiring that has, you know, covers on it, and that stuff is all hazardous material.
Asphalt.
So it
shingles.
makes a huge, huge difference. And the small landfills that they do have, and the small, you know, right now the EPA has only been, you know, permitting 1 acre CD&Ds. Well, you start taking tractor trailers in there, and a 1 acre landfill with the amount of debris we have can be filled up in a 2-week period. And what are you going to do after that? Like I said, I've
Bill,
never seen this much.
Kenny's right behind you, and you want to step up to the mic, Kenny?
Bill, will you be able to file with FEMA for this too, to get reimbursed?
We under FEMA guidelines, you only get reimbursed for overtime hours. You get reimbursed for your equipment, but your people are paid whether they're working down there or working here. And right now, working down there, I felt was really more important than anything we had to do up here right now. We've been fortunate. We haven't had any incidents. We haven't had anything that we've had to handle in our county. But it could have been our county. And I'd rather be the helper than the helpee, believe me.
And we'll examine all of our potential claims, but Kenny?
Well, good morning. Answer your question, Charlie. The state mutual aid agreement is in place. and it basically requires the judge's approval and say-so to roll out, which I called him a week ago Friday night when this call came into me from Hopkins County requesting assistance. So that call came in, and then a couple of days later when the road department was requested, again, we ran that through the judge, and basically you roll out and you go help. So I've just got a few notes that I'll kind of go through just real quick to kind of get everybody up to date. I'm short. I'm going to pull this down a little bit. So again, Friday night we got that call around 11:30, and I rolled out within an hour and was down on site in Dawson Springs. Between Dawson Springs, Bremen, Kentucky, and Muhlenberg County for the next 4 days. Just assisting, we provided command and control support for all the county emergency efforts that were, response efforts that were going on down there. We provided a portable cellular repeater to bring internet and cell service back into those command sites so that everybody that was responding to and working down there could come into the command post and get control and have good internet and good cell service. So that was something we were able to give them. We also provided drone support for situational awareness and search and rescue efforts so that we could actually get up above it and take a look at it from different angles and see what we could find. We deployed our mobile command post to Hopkins County. Their landfill was destroyed, so we put the mobile command post there to be able to give them operational capability, if you will, and it's still there today, and it'll be there until they tell us that we can have it back. So we're currently standing by for any additional requests that may happen. Let's see, we're storing resources now. Like yesterday, we offloaded 220 cases of water. We had the inmates come out and help us out, and they did that over here at the storage building. And then there's more even from the drive that happened through city police. So that's still ongoing. The armory is still catching that, and then we'll be getting rid of that to various locations if possible. They basically turned that off on site in Muhlenberg County and Hopkins County to the point where they're just overwhelmed with coats and blankets and all the things, water. So we're looking for different avenues and even storing it for, future events that may happen for us. So, all said and done, when this is over with, this is a good opportunity for all of us to look back, look at our plans, kind of make sure that we don't need to make any of those changes, because like Bill said, this could, 2 or 3 degrees difference on that tornado and it had been right here. So, you can't ever tell what's going to happen. So it's good to be prepared, but that's all I got.
Hey, Kenny. This may be a silly question, I don't know, but how long can you store water? Is it forever? It's not, I don't think, is it?
I think it's 7 years. That's
Is it
the number
something like
I
that?
saw
Okay.
somewhere along the
I
line.
was just thought of
That may be
but-
wrong, but I can verify
Yeah,
that.
well, that's okay. I was thinking about that.
Yeah, it's in plastic especially, but if it's in a controlled environment, that number obviously is higher.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Kenny.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else for good of the county? Master Southern, good of the county?
I was, Jonathan Dixon had donated a trailer to the armory, and we were hauling stuff to the Bremen. And I'm like, Bill, unbelievable. We were taking the truckloads and unloading the trailers and the buses and stuff down at the Muhlenberg Middle School. It don't hit you till you pack a case of Infamil and then walk through the child's toys. It's Christmas, guys. There's children that, our kids are worried about iPads and games and stuff, and these little kids are worried about where they're going to sleep tonight. And it hit me it just deep. It's amazing what our community did, how we stepped up, how the stuff that was delivered, and it makes you proud that you're from a community that steps up and does what we've done. But we can't do enough, because it's bad. It's really bad. My prayers go to them, and I appreciate the community we're in, and I really, really am proud of what they did. So that's all I've got.
Thank you, Master Putman.
Yeah, just want to thank Tim, Representative Dixon, and Bill, our road department, and everything you guys do, and everybody that's involved in that cleanup down there. Appreciate your remarks, Master Southern. You're spot on. And it is a sad, sad state of affairs, you know, especially given the time of the year it is and the season of giving and being thankful. But again, my prayers are well with all those involved in that cleanup and the people that got affected by it. And just want to make sure, wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And all's good in the fourth, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you, Master Putman. Master McCullough.
I think it has been overwhelming to see what everybody in our community and all the other communities. I'm just listening to the radio this morning. They got a check from Alaska. I mean, it's just incredible what they've done. I think every picture I saw, our sheriff was there working, and it was phenomenal how everybody has pulled together. And I'm certainly for that. I wasn't trying to criticize using our people there. I just want to make sure we did it right and didn't do anything that was going to be out of line. I made a mistake last week, and I didn't think about it until I got home. Not last week, it was 2 weeks ago. It was December the 7th, and we didn't mention one thing about Pearl Harbor and our military men and the greatest generation. I mean, they sacrificed and did everything for us to have what we've got. And I just got back and just thought, man, we should have said something about December 7th, at our last minute, because those people sacrificed everything for us, and we would not be here if not for those gallant people that fought in World War II and defeated the Nazis in Japan, and they had a different idea of what they wanted to do with us. And if it hadn't been for people stepping up and doing what they did and sacrificing their lives, we wouldn't be here. And I just felt bad that we didn't do that, didn't mention that. But I would like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas as well. We are totally blessed. Our community is blessed, and I appreciate everybody. Thank you.
If you get a chance, go by the library. The old part up there, we have a veterans display for World War II vets.
Yeah.
Very nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It is incredible.
That it?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. And Master Berry.
Not always fun to be last, Judge, but I will have a word or two.
Sorry
maybe.
about that.
That's okay. No, I'm teasing. You know that. I want to thank Tim and Representative Dixon, because I was there yesterday, and I couldn't be here at first. City Police did call me, and I offered 3 trailers and a truck and a tractor. So they did use the trailers. I helped them yesterday, and we're going to use the tractor and this afternoon and help. So couldn't be here at first, but I knew Tim and John. I saw the trailer over there yesterday, so that's important. Thank you all, and tell Jonathan I said thanks for that. So, and then thank everybody that helped. Bill, I mean, thank you, Charlie, for bringing that up, and I know it's real important to be down there. Those people, what would they do with no help? There's even people in Florida. I know 2 different places that were sending trucks of clothes and different things here from South Florida. It's all over. I mean, so everybody's really poured out and tried to help, and that's a good thing, especially right here before Christmas. We took toys to, I think, Nebo yesterday, and they're going to distribute them out as they need. But anyway, Merry Christmas, everybody, and thank everybody that's helped anywhere that's watching or whatever. So thank everybody. Thank you, Judge. That's all.
Thank you. Mr. Golden.
Judge, first want to say, we're missing Magistrate Moran, and want her to know that our thoughts are with her as she's dealing with some issues, and praying for a speedy recovery there. Like everybody said, the perspective that the disasters that we've seen have given us, especially around Christmas time, For me, just like Magistrate Southard said, as we were carrying boxes of diapers and Infamil and things like that, I mean, it really hits you that, we're blessed not to have been hit by this, and reaching out to our neighbors that have been affected by it is so important, and it made me so proud of this community, just the sheer amount of stuff that was coming in, and people that really didn't have a whole lot to give were digging deep and giving and finding ways to help, and that really says something about our community and the way we care about our neighbors. And with it being Christmas, like I said, we're all thinking about gifts and did I get this for that person and all these things, but it really gives you the perspective to think about the reason for the season, and celebrating the Prince of Peace and Love, and someone who taught us to care for our fellow man, and that really just kind of brings it back. And I know so many of us have had friends and family all over Western Kentucky that have been affected by this, and I just hope everybody's able to reach out to those folks and hold them close during this time, and do everything we can to help. And I believe, Kenny, right now stuff isn't as important. I think cash right now, those donations are the best, because they can get exactly what's needed right now. Is that the case?
That's right. From what I know right now, as far as cash donations, that's obviously, in any disaster, that's the best. The blankets and the toys and all that is wonderful. But cash donations are the number one thing that we like to see during donations or during disasters. As I understand it right now, Independence Bank still has accounts open, so anyone that wants to make a donation can go to an Independence Bank locally, and I believe they've got accounts set up for each of the counties. You can just decide which one you want it to go to, put it in that account, and then when they go pull the money out of the bank from that account in their county, it goes there, and they deal with how it gets distributed there. Henderson United Way, Melissa Clements, also, I believe that got finalized, where she's got an account set up to where the United Way of Henderson is also taking cash donations.
And there's also the Team Kentucky Fund and
Yes.
The Salvation Army. Our Salvation Army folks have boots on the ground
Right.
at these sites right now,
Right.
feeding people and everything. So there's so many ways that we can give.
And Steve, you and your family, you did the ringing the bell, and every time I see it, I see people digging in, and it's a lot of times I don't want to designate anybody, but people that don't appear to have a whole lot, they dig in and give more than what the people that have it, and I just.
Yes, no, actually not today, but I'm sorry. No, I've got we have an office lunch that we're doing today.
Oh, okay,
Sorry.
okay.
But I bet Sheriff Crafton is,
Yeah.
and he was ringing the bell.
Are you
with his-
going? You going to Lions Club? Yes. Let me give you something to take back, if you would, because we did the bucket shake, and I didn't participate. And I'll catch you after court.
So moving forward, anybody in that's hearing this online or whatever, if they want to give, they can contact those entities and continue to give as they see fit, even though we can't necessarily get things or stuff down there as much as we used to be able to.
Thank you.
Yes,
And
sir.
I was thinking cash to any of there's so many great funds out there right now, but some of those are going directly to get those urgent needs. And the whole thing, I think, like I said, it's given us all perspective, and it's made me very grateful and thankful for the things that we have. And one of the things I'm grateful for is the opportunity to serve with this fiscal court. I think we have a very good fiscal court, and all of county government that we have is really rowing in the right direction right now, and that's something that I'm very thankful to be a part of.
Thank you, Steve. I agree. First off, I really want to say thanks to Kenny Garrett. As you heard him say, he got a call on Friday night at probably just the moments that the storm was passing through these communities. When it had already hit Mayfield, it was probably past Dawson Springs, headed into Muhlenberg. He had already gotten the call to help as the call goes out to EMA directors around the region to come pitch in. And that was about 9 o'clock, and he called me and he said, "Can I go?" I said, "Just go and help." And you stayed the entire night into the next day. I think you got home that second night, slept for 4 hours, and then went back, and you've been going back ever since. And I know that's your job. I know that is the job, and we would hope if something bad happened to us that other EMAs from around the western end of the state would be doing that for us, and I'm sure they would. But I really appreciate your efforts. It was above and beyond as far as I can tell. And continue to be our liaison to state and FEMA and state EMA. And so we've got a good man in our EMA chair. And I think the key, Kenny, is that after this initial reaction to the disaster, there are many, many, many months to go in helping people get back on their feet. It's going to take years for these communities to be rebuilt. But I think we all need to be mindful that job's not done, and we'll keep monitoring through your help what needs to happen next and how Henderson County can assist. But I do appreciate the way you've worked this, and it made us all proud. And it also goes to show, I think, the planning pays off eventually. Unfortunately, you have to do it, but when you really need to have a good protocol, we've got one. Also, big thanks to the Sheriff's Department. You all kicked in quickly on the armory effort to collect aid and items and resources, and our Sheriff's Department deputies volunteered and went shoulder to shoulder over that first weekend when everything was coming in. And I know it was long days out there, but it made a huge difference. And
we also had some deputies went down to Caldwell County and Hopkins County.
Yeah, helping out. Yeah. I appreciate our county teams, both from this building and the road department, as well as the detention center, who took turns working the armory this past week. It was great to see. Steve's gang came out. We had people from my office. A bunch of the county clerk's folks came out. I know I'm missing a couple people, but it was both satisfying to know we could do something that night, and also fun to watch everybody work together and get that done that night, and see, that Fence Pros truck get filled up with generators and heaters and things we knew that were going to be needed. And next morning, I think 3 truckloads from that Wednesday night we worked went out the next morning. And then the detention center helped do the same thing on Friday night. So I was very proud of that. And our road department, those guys, they might be working at it a little while yet, but very proud that they went down there and helped. I mean, I got a call from Jack Whitfield, who's the judge executive in Hopkins County, and he paid me a personal compliment. He said, I have seen a lot of vehicles and helpers from Henderson. We see Henderson a lot down here, and I really appreciate that. And I said, whatever we can do. And sometimes you have to fight the urge to go down there because, unless you have a specific job or the result of a specific request, they don't want you in the way. I know how people feel. You got to go down there and do something. But so, it was a little frustrating for me to think, what should I be doing? What should I be doing right now? Well, the best thing I can do is make sure my people have resources they need to go down and do exactly what is needed down there, and not just be a storm looky-loo. And so I'm glad we had the option of helping at the armory that night in order to kind of get engaged in that way. So thank you all for that help. And it's not over yet, as we said, but the initial crisis, maybe we've gotten past that, and now the residual work has to happen. It's been a good week in Henderson County otherwise, despite this tragedy. The Pratt announcement, if you didn't get a chance to see it, was quite something. Not only did Mr. Pratt fly in from Australia to announce that they were adding $100 million to what they're investing in Henderson County at that project, now up to $500 million total and counting. But he also donated $1 million to the Team Kentucky Fund, which I think is now over $5 million. in donations, and he also donated $1 million to Tri-State Food Bank, which has been one of the charities helping feed people during the storm and helping feed people in 8 Northwest Kentucky counties year-round. It was quite a gesture, and it was a really good moment for Henderson County, and I'm looking forward to their progress. And, of course, the next big milestone is the ribbon cutting on the plant. You'll be seeing the construction begin. If you drive by the 425 bypass, that area they're working on right now is not where the plant's going. That's just going to be the parking lot. The plant proper is going on beyond the drainage ditch, back up into the property, and it will go on for seemingly ever to the horizon when this thing is done. It's going to be a huge facility and something we can all be proud of, I'm sure. We should be getting really good news later this morning on I-69. Can't tell you what that is yet, but be looking for that, and it is all positive news. Really exciting news. And with that, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. I'm thankful for all of y'all. Mr. Farmer, do you have something? But I'll say Merry Christmas to everybody, and I echo Steve's remarks about our fiscal court, and the angel of death is with us now. To your final comments. I'm sorry.
I've been called worse. But, Your Honor, members of the court, I appreciate you allowing me to talk. I am here today as Bruce Farmer, a citizen of Henderson County, Kentucky. A week and a half ago, I had the honor, well, it's not an honor, it's more of a privilege, of being a part of our state response team that went to, I was in Mayfield for 2 days, and what we were seeing. Henderson County has been, I've worked with emergency management clear back to civil defense for over 50 years. I've seen what Henderson County has tried to do in the way of planning and operations and all like that. And whenever I get called out to these scenes, which this wasn't the first tornado I did, and we've done plane crashes, mine disasters and all, that I think back to what's going on here in Henderson. And I spent over 12 years as chairman of the local emergency planning committee, which is a designated group that's supposed to be made up of local government and businesses in getting us ready for certain things. Henderson County has been extremely fortunate in all the years. We had guys at the hospital watch the tornado going by in 2005 that missed downtown Henderson by the river, jumped over, did damage at Ellis Park, then went to the trailer park, and 25, I think, people lost their lives. I was in charge, starting off with, of the operation at the candle factory in Mayfield. It took them an hour to get me from one side of town to the other. But the response that was coming, I couldn't help but believe. We were dealing with the local coroner. I never saw anybody from emergency management. I kind of guessed where they were, because this was such a, Kentucky's never seen such a widespread disaster. Hope we never have to see one again. You know, I know Kenny was at Dawson Springs for, how many days were you over there? 4? We've talked to the people that were in Bowling Green. I had a friend who, the tornado in Bowling Green went down a street. She lived on that street. It didn't hardly affect her house, but it wiped out the other side of the street, and there were quite a few deaths right there in that area. And it calls upon the people to get out there and work. Our emergency managers have done a real good job over the years. Like I said, I've worked with all of them. Kenny's a great one, Larry and all. Before that, I go back forever. And there is a plan that's supposed to be in effect whenever something happens. There's a state outline, and everybody punches in what they do. In my years as chairman of the LEPC, we tried to work with all the local groups and that needed to be and get some training to them. Well, you have to literally threaten some people to get them to show up for the meetings and for the training. And that doesn't do any good. You've got to have the people wanting to learn a little bit, that if something does happen, where they can look for resources, who they want to talk to, and all like that. And I'm going to say this right offhand, that there hasn't been any of our elected officials at any of the LEPC meetings in quite a while, has there? You know, and this is part of the core of working with local industry and all on getting things. I would like just to put in the note to you that whenever you get a note about a local emergency planning committee meeting, and this is a designated group that does meet, has to meet several times a year, that, you know, we need, Henderson County's been extremely fortunate. If you look at the last set of tornadoes we've had, everything seems to go to Union County, Webster County, McLean County, and hits up in Owensboro. We've seen quite a bit of damage in Owensboro over the years. We've been extremely fortunate, but one of these days we may not be. And we need to know that our elected officials and our department heads from emergency services will know where to go, what to get, and to work as a group. You know, emergency management's job isn't to run the show, it's to help coordinate the show. And, you know, a lot of them do a real good job of that. But the final decisions on some things has to come from our elected officials and all. And you all need to be made aware of it. We had a meeting almost a year ago last February about the pandemic. And I'm sitting in a room with a bunch of people who, a lot of them were new to their positions. You know, they'd been in there a short period of time and didn't understand what's going on. I had two local officials tell me, they talked me into helping Kenny, because Kenny's just one person with a part-time secretary. And we're a county of over 45,000 people. That it finally got to the point I stood up, I said, because I had helped put a lot of this stuff together. Larry, Kenny, and the ones before helped get it out. There is a disaster plan. If you don't have a copy of it, I think if you talk to Kenny, he would get it to you. It looks confusing right off the bat, but it's not. It's, I got up and told everybody, I said, I described the book for them. They're all the same. I said, some of these people, if you go back in your office and look, if it's not in your office, ask your secretary or ask your number 2 in charge. But each department should have one. I told them, get to it, read Chapter 8. Chapter 8 had to do with what we were dealing with the pandemic. I said, read it, look it over, just kind of refresh your mind, then close the book. And then you've got an idea of what we're going to have to do with this. And I said, after all this is over, we'll all sit down, we'll update that chapter, with what all we've experienced now. Instead of 4 to 6 weeks, we're heading toward 2 years. And we'll update it, put it back on the shelf, and hopefully you won't have to pull it out for 20 years. But you need to have an idea of what is going on, and if Kenny comes to the judge or whoever may be there right now, Kenny knows what he's looking for, and he may need your help in getting some of this stuff. At Mayfield, I was fortunate enough that they had brought in a semi-trailer already, a refrigeration unit, and put it on the lot next door at the implement company. But things were not organized at all. People wanted to help, people wanted to see. That was one of the biggest things that got me. We had a building that was 1.5 acres under roof. That ain't no small building. And we had the darndest time trying to get a total as to how many people should have been in there at that time. This one guy's telling me, well, we don't know how many people called in sick, we don't know how many people already left. I said, no, I need a number of what should have been in the building, and we're going to start working down from there. That's how we started getting some of the numbers down. The county coroner was swamped because there were people desks scattered out all over the county. If you ever been to Mayfield, Mayfield's a pretty flat town. Well, Mayfield got chewed up pretty good. Dawson Springs, all the damage and all there. You know, I didn't even know about Bowling Green till Sunday because I was concentrating on working on our part. But, you know, it takes the local government, city and county, having an idea of what's going on and have faith in the people that you've put in these positions for emergency response and also the emergency department. We got, you know, Graves County was so perplexed it wiped out the school bus garage, but the people from McCracken County brought over some buses to use as warming units for all the firemen. I had a bunch of untrained rescuers trying to dig into this building. About late in the afternoon on Saturday, I was never so thrilled to see the Lexington Fire Department and Louisville Fire Department with their heavy rescue equipment had come clear from there. These guys were trained and know how to do this kind of stuff. To let them take over the building, you know, we didn't find any more bodies after that, but we know that the building was thoroughly searched. Donations, hell, I was down there again Saturday. They're still flooding in, and it's great to see. They're going to have trouble getting all this kind of stuff. But I always use one example that years ago, one of my predecessors, Atmer Stokes, was really involved when the state started getting into this stuff with the medical examiner program. Atmer went to a meeting and told him, he said, yes, I've gone back. I found 2 places that I can use as temporary morgues. I've done talk with the owners that, you know, he was moving ahead and getting things ready. And we had a tornado come through town, and what's it do? He had places on each end of the town. Tornado comes through town, levels a hangar at the airport he was going to use, and levels the grandstands at Riverside Downs that he was going to use. So he was back. Luckily, I think we only had 1 or 2 fatalities. It's been so long ago. But, you know, we've got to keep this in mind. But when you get invited, with, you know, if we have any more training sessions, please try to make time, and Kenny will get word to y'all enough to get there to learn this. If you don't have a copy of the emergency plan, ask Kenny. Just look at it sometime when you got a few minutes, and how, you know, it's on a 3-inch thick binder, but all 120 counties use the same format, and then it's a fill in the blank kind of deal, so that me going to Graves County, I know what should be going, and I've got to start there. That it was awfully disorganized. You know, a disaster is a disaster for the first couple of hours. You know, the object is getting some people in there that know what we need to do and get together and do it, and that, you know, we need to make sure that our families and all are safe if it comes through here, but then we have to go to work to what it takes to get things ready. And as a whole, this court has always been supportive of these groups, but I don't know if you all truly know what they do and how they do it, and I would like for you to join with us and try to help. You know, I've had some free time to help Kenny with the pandemic bit, and I feel it's my duty for the county that I was working with the nursing homes, bringing supplies in from Owensboro and every place else, working with the fire departments and the police departments. And, you know, this is my county, and I'm awful proud of it, and I wouldn't hesitate in the least bit to do this again. But I would like for y'all just to think about it. There's a lot of life lost. I don't think we'll ever see a tornado that will run 130 miles across the ground around us, but it could. You know, we were in 05, we were just extremely fortunate that it was so close to the hospital. If it had hit the hospital, what would we have been up to? So that's all I'd like to say. I'd like to encourage you all. You know, we're not talking, there's probably going to be some equipment that's going to have to be bought. sometime along the way to have us prepared for stuff. From once we can get all the groups together and look at this, the county groups that went to places, the city fire department went to Mayfield for several days. You know, me being down there in our group, we may come back to you someday to talk about it, but whenever we come back and talk to you about it, it's not just for some shiny bells and whistles. It's for things that, I used to be one of these, especially with the ambulance service. I hate getting money and not using it, the equipment every day. That's the reason why I passed on some federal money early on in the deal, and then realized to get in it, because if we can't get it otherwise, you know, we may have to have some stuff here. So I want to thank you all for these moments to be able to talk. I want everybody to have a nice holiday and all, but like I said, we've got to keep in our mind what took place a week and a half ago, and hope that it never happens here, but if it does, we need to be prepared for it. I thank you all very much for your time.
Thank you, Bruce, and I didn't mean to be flippant introducing you there. I appreciate you going down and helping like you did. The volunteer fire departments out in the county did too, so thank you. And I'll tell you, since the beginning of the pandemic especially, I've been in Kenny's hip pocket. You know, we talk all the time, and Kenny's a good man. And sometimes he tells me what I need to know, and sometimes he tells me what I don't really need to worry about, because that man goes to more meetings in a month than I do, and that's saying something. So thank you for your comments, Mr. Farmer. Appreciate it. And again, compliments to all of our EMA and first responders in the county. Really appreciate what they've done.
Brett, if I could just a second. Kenny, I think he brought up some good points, our coroner did, and if we could use this as a learning experience, if there are things that you need that might be helpful in the future if something happens, because I had friends in Bowling Green and they did not have internet service, did not have cell service, and I didn't know that we had the capability for you to go down there and help with the repeater system. I didn't know that, and I guess that's on me. But if there are things that we learn from this, come back and let us know.
I will.
Okay.
As we get past this, get past the holidays and get into early part of next year, I plan on having some meetings like what Bruce was talking about, and try to get everybody, you know, involved and get us all up on the same page, and make changes to our existing plans. If we go through there and see that there's something needs to be tweaked, which it always is, there's always something new. And then, you know, look at our hardware, look at our command posts and all those kinds of things. And if we need to update them, then we'll bring that request to the court.
Thank you.
Okay.
With that, I'd like to make a motion going into executive session per KRS 61.8101F, personnel disciplinary issues. You get a second? You have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
So move.
Second.
Motion is second. All
Are
those
we
in favor say aye.
online yet?
Yep.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And with Christmas coming and hoping you all have a great holiday, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Motion is second. Merry Christmas, y'all.
Merry Christmas, everybody.